a good time to introduce Fiona, partly because she's finished her 16-mile run. She's out of breath. Have you done your stretches, Fiona?
No, not yet.
She's going to seize up this afternoon then if she doesn't do those. But yeah, Fiona's just finished her run. But before we go to that bit, I was going to show you this, which is a great thing. Many of you might have already seen it. I'll share it with you. But it's because I think sometimes it gets a little bit complicated what we're up to. But if I show you this, yeah, there we go. This is what they call a link tree. And you can see the if you just write in mad_march_mile link tree on Google, it will come up. And these are all the links to all the websites that we've got. So we've got the White Horse Pottery, that takes you to the pottery that makes the mugs. The charities there as well. Then we've got a Strava group, a Spotify playlist. Yeah. If you want to collaborate and add some tunes in there. No one's done that yet this year, so we're after some of those. This is a new link, our fundraiser. Ronald McDonald House created a Just Giving page. I'll show you. Show you that, which has got bits and pieces, so we can make donations if we want to do that. Then we've got our Twitter page, Instagram, Facebook, and that goes to Entry Central to sign up here, which is obviously shut now for this year. But I just thought I'd show you that so that you know. It's a useful page. If you've got that page, you've got everything. Yeah. So that's a useful page just so that you've got everything in one place there. So I'll stop sharing that. And then also what we were promised to do today, and I don't know whether anyone really wants us to go on too much about it, but just to kind of, if anyone's got any questions about their training and needs some help, Fiona and I are both qualified England Athletic run coaches. So we've got our what's called a CURF badge, which is Coach and Run Fitness. So we're also currently studying some advanced stuff for endurance runners as well, because we're both into endurance running, but the coaching covers everything from track to road running.
Oh, I've seen Sarah. You want to do some trail races, don't you?
Where's Sarah?
Oh, she's not there. I thought Sarah was there.
No. There is a Sarah there, but not the one you're thinking of.
Not the one she's doing. Oh, forget that. I'm tired.
But George,
yes,
I'd like to take you up on that thing then, because I knocked out a PB this morning, which I wasn't expecting for the GB Max.
Oh, well done you.
But it was a surprise. But I think I'm getting a better combination now between sort of medium-sized runs, a really long run of a weekend, but then making me runs during the week slow.
Yeah, so that's just exactly what we were going to talk about. Is like structuring it for March Mile is quite difficult as well, because you've obviously got to do exercise every day, but having 1 or 2 rest days is important. At least 1 or 2 rest days, and when I say a rest day, obviously for March Mile, that would just be walking for 1 mile and taking it easy during that walk. But then you want to spread out some other runs as well. You only really need 1 tempo run and 1 interval run. So a tempo run would be running at a pace that you can only kind of say, so we kind of use tempo to kind of measure heart rate, but you don't need to have complicated equipment to measure your heart rate. You can work that out yourself. So if you could say a word every now and again, that is your tempo running rate. So you just need to be saying about 2 or 3 words. That's all you can say as you're running. So that's the feel that you want for a tempo run. And if you do a kind of a tempo run once a week, and that can be anything from like 20 minutes to 40 minutes really. And then 1 set of intervals is a really good thing to do. And this is where people don't do a lot. And that involves a kind of a warm-up of, let's say, 10 minutes and a cool-down of 10 minutes. But in between those two, the warm-up and the cool-down, those parts are important, the warm-up and the cool-down. In between, you do what's called intervals. So you might want to do something like 3 times 6 minutes with 3-minute rests in between. Do you all understand?
We have sort of had this sort of conversation, and that. So obviously your stuff on like you just did the Wednesday night, didn't you?
Yeah.
Down at the track and that. But Dawn's a bit daunted by the fact of that. But I've sort of tried to sort of instill in her the session. You know, this I'm sort of like in the middle of the bunch sort of thing, whereas you'll have like if Rich goes or Gary Day goes, and they'll be sort of like lapping me like in no one's time. They said, but there's plenty. You know, it's a big long line, isn't it? It's the sessions. that you have on those, that they cover every sort of range and ability, don't they? You know, because you're just running at your effort. But as you say, like for 3 minutes, or 6 minutes, you're just running that at what your like 5k or 10k pace is. It doesn't really matter what anybody else is doing.
Between 5k and 10k pace, you don't want to be busting yourselves. You're not supposed to be doing this at race pace at all. But you know, you want to be doing it kind of between 5k and 10k pace.
We did one, didn't we, Sean, last year when we collected our mugs? Didn't we do that down that lane? Pig Lane, was it?
Piggy Lane, yeah.
You were training for your 10k in October, weren't you? I think.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, no, we did. Yeah.
Oh.
You took a session. You took us down Pig Lane, I think, Sean.
Did I? I have no idea. Could well have done.
Since then.
Where is Pig Lane? I don't even know where it is.
Westbury.
Is it Westbury? We went out from the square.
Oh yes, I remember that. I don't call that Pig Lane. I call that the Lower Bratton Road. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, we did, and it wasn't easy. Fiona was kind of saying it's not ideal there because it's not great surface to do it on.
No.
You want to try and pick. So now I'm going to contradict what I did there, Dawn. You want to try and pick a kind of flat road bit, or you could do it on the hills if you wanted to, like Phil does. But you want it kind of an even surface, but flat ideally. I think flat would probably be better if you're not used to hills, especially. But if you just do one of those a week and one tempo, but the most important thing to do, and this is what they're kind of saying now, is to do a lot of easy run, and that's in zone, what they call heart rate zone 2, which it has got some numbers, but if you don't want to go by numbers, it's a pace in which you can comfortably chat to a mate with. So you should be able to carry out a full conversation, have a couple of breaks so that they can talk for half the time, you can talk for half the time. But if you can't talk for half the time, you're running too quickly. Okay, so that is, and then you would do a recovery run after your interval, the day after your interval maybe, and then you do maybe a couple of easy runs in the week as well. And that can be from 20 minutes, and then maybe one of those long run as well. And you could do an hour at that if you wanted to do it on your long run.
So, with your 5k that you did today,
yeah,
you did like 36 something, was it?
3609. 3601 on Strava.
So
or 3609.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Well done. So if you wanted to do like a steady state run, they'd call it, you would go out, do 10 minutes easy running, and then do 15 minutes between 12:30 and 12:40 minute miling. And if you could do that, and then one of the other shorter sessions, that's kind of what you build up. And gradually you'll build up that 15 minutes to like 20 minutes, but you don't need to do it for more than 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think because like we're training for the Bath Half, like last weekend we did a 16k run on the Sunday, but it was as Sean said, it was chatty pace. We literally chatted the whole 2 and a bit hours. Yeah. All the way round, but then I've been out with George, and then obviously I'm going slow with George because I can't keep up with him, so he has to go at my pace. And then it's I said the AVR's walk run at the minute, so that's really good as well. But I do think that because I've got the combination, because my DB Max now is my fast, what I class as my fast run. That's the one that I'll go out and work.
Yeah.
I want to get out as fast as I can. I think because the combinations work quite well over the last couple of weeks, that it's really, because I missed last week, so I was poorly on the DB Max. So yeah, I was quite pleased with myself this morning when I got back and realised it was DB.
Well, I was going to start off on the kind of walking or the walk running as well, so because some of this might go kind of above people's heads or whatever. So with the walk running, I think that the main thing is to kind of if you're walking along, like I said earlier, it's like walk a minute, run a minute, or do a very slow jog, or try and jog as slowly as you possibly can so that you can keep it up, and you can do lots and lots of those. So you could do like 15 reps of those if you can keep your pace when you're jogging very, very slow. And if you don't want to do it, you haven't got a stopwatch, or you don't want to do a minute at a time, you can use lampposts as well, which is quite a common thing. So you can when you get to one lamppost, you start running and you just kind of run to the next lamppost. But like I said, it's also run similar to what we were saying for Dawn, in as much as one day, why don't you run at a pace between the lampposts or between the minutes at a pace that you can safely chat with someone else at, and then maybe another day you'll run at a pace that you can only say 2 or 3 words at, and you'll work that out what pace that is, and that is basically the difference between your heart rate zone 2 and your heart rate zone 4. those two kind of the chatty pace and the 2 or 3 word pace. And then like if you get to zone 5, you can only kind of say 1 word at a time. That is just full out. But
Help you along. There's a Couch to 5K app which you can sort of download. I think it's NHS England that put it out.
Yeah.
When Dawn started park running 2018. Yeah. So she was running that with Jerry and Tony. That they were running the group. So that she'd do that on the Saturday, but then during the week, then she'd use the app, and you can pick a celebrity who'll do the updates and tell like you're going to run for 3 minutes or walk for 3 minutes. And that's you had Sarah Millican on yours, didn't you? Yeah, and you could have Usain Bolt and people like that, and so that
Joe
was
Wiley,
great. Joe Wiley, yeah, and it just keeps you on the straight and narrow, and you can follow that. And all you just need to do is just listen to the voice, and when to run and when to walk, and then it sort of builds you up gradually over, I think, 10 weeks, wasn't it?
9 weeks.
9 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, well, 10 weeks, I think that.
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
We're just about coming to the end of the AVR for this Couch to 5K.
okay.
I think this week it was 16-minute run, 3-minute walk, 16-minute run. Which
that's the penultimate week.
That's week 9.
Yeah,
week
yeah.
9.
And the lady that she was like at the beginning, I just can't see myself being able to run, for any time other than, the first couple of minutes. And now she's smashing out 16-minute runs.
It's incredible, isn't it? So that's a great point there, Dawn. It's like you start off with running a minute, walking a minute, don't you? That's week 1, I think. And then you finish off with, the penultimate one's what you just said. But if you tell them that in advance, they're thinking, there's no way I can do that in 9 weeks. But you can, can't you? With a gradual and a load of help, you can do
Just
that.
baby steps, isn't it? Little and often, yeah.
Especially like Fiona just said, if you've got a running buddy or you can search someone that you can run with, or maybe the app would help as well if that kind of thing motivates you as well. Yeah. It's about getting out every week, isn't it? But I mean, the thing I would say, and the thing that's helped me and keeps me motivated, is to join your local running club. No matter what. And I know all clubs now, 10 years ago this wasn't the case, and they had a reputation for it, but all clubs now have a beginner section, and will do that Couch to 5K, and they will teach you things like stretches and warm up and how to do those, and that's going to prevent injury. Because I don't think anyone minds me saying, but we're not kind of in our 20s, are we? Any of us are in our 20s. So was that rude? I think that was rude, but no, none of us can.
Age is just a number.
So what we need to do is look after ourselves though as well. So this section I was going to say about kind of injuries or some injury prevention is obviously the best thing to do. But if you haven't only got any twinges, you do want to see a physio, and there's some amazing physios about, and sports massage as well, and they can give you exercise. They don't you don't have to commit to going every single week. A good sports therapist will say, come and see me. We'll probably do a couple of exercises and maybe even fix you on week 1 or week 2, and then send you away to do some exercises that prevents you repeating that injury. It's absolute genius. Well, I mean, it sounds like it's expensive. It costs me 35 quid every time I go, but I only go kind of once or twice, and then usually that lasts me for a whole year if I do the exercises. Then I stop doing the exercises, I get injured again, I have to go back and see it. So it serves me right, really, if that's what you do. But it's a great facility to do if you do get injured. And obviously with the Mad March Mile, I don't know whether you've heard that if you kind of get ill or you're injured, please don't run. Just tag it on the end of a march and kind of do April 1, 2 and 3 if you've missed 3 days or something like that. It's not got to be the be all and end all of your existence. I know it's great motivation. But if you can't do it, don't worry about it, and don't log your runs. You don't have to worry about it, and just tag it on to the end of April. That's happened on many occasions that people have done that. It won't be the first time that people have done that, but we certainly don't want you running if you've got a niggle or you're feeling. Have we got any more questions, or should we sum it up? Are we all good? I'm quite happy to answer questions, and if you've got any questions that you want me to answer or Fiona to answer, we're quite happy to do that. Just message us or email us. You've got the email address. It's been on all the correspondence on Mad March Mile, and we're on the Facebook page all the time, and we'll be only too happy to answer your questions. And we're kind of really enjoying doing the coaching role, and your local run club is a real amazing resource, not just kind of on warm-ups and preventing injuries, but it's got all the information about kit, and you can speak to some experienced people that know an awful lot about it. So it is a great resource, and that's what I thoroughly recommend.
I have Sally Frawley's voice in my head, because when I get on my long runs, I tend to suddenly start leaning forward as the longer the run goes on. My posture goes really, it drops. And all I have in my head is Sally going, head up, piece of string, balloon, keep it straight. And I actually adjust how my body is when I hear her voice going, right, up, balloon, head. So, I would never have dreamed of worrying about anything like that. But as I said, with working with the AVR and with the people that are in part of the club, and then like Sir Jay and stuff like that, it has really, and it's little tweaks that make the biggest difference.
It is. So that kind of thing is there's got kind of a twofold consequences, really, because we do this on a Wednesday night on the club session that Fiona and I take at 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night at Trowbridge Rugby Football Club. What we do is kind of concentrate on form, and what we do is kind of concentrate on tall posture for, say, an 8-week section, and then we'll talk about another section of form, so that people concentrate on that for that period of time, so that it becomes a natural instinct. But it kind of, not only does it make you a little bit more efficient, in fact, that's not necessarily the major point of it. It doesn't really make you an awful lot faster. It will make you a little bit quicker, a little bit more efficient, but it also prevents the injuries as well. So it's kind of a twofold advantage in kind of looking after your form, and that's what you will learn at these sessions. And then you can take that away for your tempo runs, your easy runs, and your recoveries as well. So that's something to bear in mind. And then you will learn about the pre-session warm-up and the pre-session drills that we do, and then we do some stretches afterwards as well. And it's very kind of structured, these sessions. And then really you should take those warm-ups and those stretches onto your tempo runs at least, and probably even your easy runs and your recovery runs, just to prevent those injuries. And you kind of think, I don't really need them, and then you pull a muscle or something like that, and you get really frustrated because you can't go out and perform.
Yeah. And I think also with the fact that, especially with the Mad March Mile, we're in that sort of time of year where it's just coming out of the really sort of horrible weather, and it's just giving you that incentive to go out. Now, this week, the thing of going out, work's been horrendous. I've done really long days on a laptop on my kitchen table, and it's just been lovely to think, actually, I'm going to go and do my Mad March Mile now.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, are there any more questions, or should we call it a day? Get some lunch in us.
Breakfast.
Oh, I've had breakfast. I just realised that.
Starving.
Well, thanks ever so much for coming along, and no doubt we'll do one more of these. I know some people will work it, so maybe we'll do it at a different time or a different day or something like that, but I'm sure we'll do another one at least, and keep in regular contact. But it's great that you could join us all. Thank you very much for coming along. I think it's a great number, actually. I was a bit worried there'd be too many, but I think this is a great number, isn't it, to have about eight of us all having a chat. Thanks ever so much, and
thank you.
Thank you,
Matt
Sean. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sean.
Cheers, Dan.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Nice to meet you through the door.